BusPlanner Quick. It's our newest product. It fills a niche that none of our other products fill, and we are excited to tell you all about it. So without further ado, let's talk about what BusPlanner Quick is, what it does, and who it's for. And then Brian is going to show you how it works. So what is BusPlanner Quick? Let's start by talking about that. BusPlanner Quick is simple, basic web-based routing software. So you can open it with your web browser, and you can do basic stuff like editing a run, putting a student on a stop, and so on. It's completely integrated with both BusPlanner Pro and Web, but it's not designed to be a replacement for BusPlanner Pro. So over time, it may evolve into a separate full-featured browser-based routing application as a separate product. But we plan to keep BusPlanner Quick around. It'll always remain, as we believe there will continue to be a need for a quick and simple product like this one. So who is this for? Who might you set up with this product? A few examples might include a basic user who needs basic BusPlanner route planning functionality to be able to answer common questions and fulfill basic requests. Maybe a call center user or some kind of area supervisor who needs access to BusPlanner information on the go to be able to check or make small additions or changes to their data. So in short, anybody who doesn't need to do complicated things, but does need to be able to make edits to runs or to busing information, they can all use BusPlanner Quick. So why BusPlanner Quick? Well, here are 3 reasons. It's got simplified web-based interface, so you can access it from anywhere, including on a phone or a tablet. It's intentionally limited, so it's easy for staff to complete basic sets of tasks quickly and easily. And there's almost no learning curve, so pretty well anyone can pick it up and start using it with minimal training or direction really from you. And because it's built on the same BusPlanner data platform as Pro and Web, there's no re-implementation required. As soon as it's installed, you can start using it. It is designed for our BusPlanner SaaS clients, so if you're not on SaaS yet, this could be a great reason to make the leap as well. But in the meantime, that's enough rambling on my part. Let's check out BusPlanner Quick in action. We've got my colleague Brian, as I mentioned, is set up with a test database here, and he is going to take you on a tour of BusPlanner Quick. So Brian, let's pass it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott. And I'm going to take us right into BusPlanner Quick. And you can see here we have a URL set up for our BusPlanner Quick database. As Scott mentioned, it is 100% web-based. So this here is BusPlanner Quick's homepage or landing page. And as you can see, it's going to be showing you all the more commonly used tools. So for example, you have an address eligibility tool here. So you can search an address to see if it's eligible or not for busing. You have a find student option here where you can search a student with filtered options. And you have a find routes tool here so you can review your routes, see where your buses are going to be going. In addition to this home page, we also have a hamburger menu up top here that shows the rest of the available tools and searches that you have available in BusPlanner Quick. In this menu, you'll notice right off the bat here, we also have a dashboard incorporated, which is going to give you a quick look into your database. So here it's showing you, how many students you have in the database, how many transported students you have, along with some other routing features here. So stops not on a run, 0 load stops, and things like that. We also show graphical representations of some of the data. So here you can see transported students by eligibility. So you can see based on the student's eligibility, are they being transported? So now let's take a look at some student information. So let's say I want to do a student search in our BusPlanner Quick database. I can click the student search and I can put in some information. So I'm going to put in the last name Linders here, and I'm going to click search. And that's going to look in the database to see if we have any students named Linders. And I'm going to use the example of Donald Linders here, and I want to get some more information about Donald Linders. So when I bring up the information for Donald Linders, you will see the basic information, enrollment information, and transportation information. You're also going to notice on the right-hand side here is a map, and it's showing Donald's address as well as the bus stops that he is currently assigned to. Now, the beautiful thing about this map is that it is completely interactive. So you can zoom in, pan around wherever you would like. So if I want to zoom in where he is here, I can zoom right in, I can zoom out like this, and I can pan around the map anywhere I want. In certain situations, or you might find yourself in a situation where you would prefer to see the map in a kind of Google Earth or satellite view. And so we also got you covered in that aspect, because clicking the layer here and going into a hybrid map will give you just that full Google Earth type view. So depending on the task that you're doing in Quick, you can seamlessly switch between these two maps to whatever fits the task. So let's continue viewing the student information over to the left here. So you'll see under the basics tab here, we can see the school ID for the student ID, distance to school, and that type of information. In the More tab, you're going to be able to see medical information, equipment, extended properties, comments. If you ever needed to add or edit any details on this page, we have the pencil here for editing and then the green plus here for adding. So if we wanted to, for example, edit some medical detail for this student, we can click the pencil here, and then it gives you the fields you have available, and we can edit the field. So if we wanted to say this student has an allergy to nuts, we can do that. And then all we have to do is click the green check mark here, and we've officially updated that student's information to include allergy to nuts. Moving on to the addresses section, this is showing us the addresses that are associated to Donald. Right now, he only has one home address, but in the event that another address is needed to be added, say a situation occurred where the parents worked late and Donald needs the student or his student to go to a babysitter's address after school. We can just add that new address using the green plus sign here, and that will save the address to the student's profile. In the enrollments tab, you'll see that we have Donald's school, grade, and if he was in program. The contacts are just what you'd expect, contacts for Donald. So you have Jean and James there, which in this case are mom and dad with their respective phone numbers. And then lastly, we have the attachments page, which simply put, you can attach any document you would like to the student, and then anybody else viewing the student would be able to see them as well. Additionally, on this student page right at the bottom here, you'll be able to see the transportation that has been assigned to the student. So this is also the place where you'll be able to remove and assign busing to the student. So in our situation, as it currently is, Donald's riding a bus in the AM. So you can notice kind of the blue color here, as well as the AM timeframes for that bus stop and route. But he is not on a bus in the PM. So let's fix that and assign Donald to a PM bus so that he can get home after the school day. So to do that, we would go over here to find stops. And then here we can pick our address and the school, and we can click search. And this is going to search all bus stops within the walking distance to Pleasantville High School. And we want to put him on the PM. You'll notice there is no checkbox for the AM because we're already on the AM. So we can assign him to the PM there and click the check mark. And now Donald is assigned to the PM route as well. So now that we started talking about transportation, let's move into looking at run and route information on BusPlanner Quick. So I'm going to go back to the home page here. And I'm going to search for a route using the Find Route button. And I'm going to search for Route 7. And then I'm going to click search. And that takes us right into Route 7. So this is showing us what Route 7 is doing today. So we can see here it starts at the depot, and then we do an AM run, which is called 07. Then we go back to the depot, and then we start the afternoon at the depot and we do our 07 p.m. run and then back to the depot. So it's just a one morning, one afternoon run and going back and forth to the depots between the runs. And again, you'll notice we have the map and interactive map here where you can zoom and look at whatever you need to. So if you want to go and search where the depot is, we can scroll right in there. We can see where the depot is located. We can look at the path of the deadhead as well as the run path here. Now, let's say you want to get more details on what the 7 a.m. run is doing on a stop-by-stop level. We can click on the 07 a.m. run rate from the route console here, and that will bring us into the run console. So this is now showing us what the run does from start to finish. So the first stop on this run is 81 St. Lawrence Avenue, and then we do about 8 stops, and then we get to the school. For each of these stops, you can locate the riders at each of the stops, and you can adjust bus stop times. So if you wanted to see who was on 81 St. Lawrence Avenue, you could click the button here, which is the student button, and this will bring us to all the students that are getting on at that bus stop. So you can see there's 3 of them at that location where their stop is, and this is the Johnson family here. You can also adjust the time that the bus will arrive at each stop by simply typing in the time. So if you wanted to change this at all, by 1 minute or something, you could change that just by typing it in and it processes it right there in front of you. So it's very easy to adjust times, see who's on each stop just from each of those button clicks there. Now, if we let's zoom into, stops 1 to 2 and 3 here, you can kind of see where the run path is going. So we start at 1, then we go 2 and loop around to 3, and then we finish the run there. Looking at these first 3 stops, it looks like you can make an improvement to the stop order to improve the efficiency of this run. And so with our run console, clicking and dragging stops will change the stop order. So if I wanted to switch, stop 2 and 3, so the bus now goes 1, 2, 3, and then up to 4, I can just click and drag on the stop and switch the order. So I'm going to take stop number 2 here, click it, drag it down. And now you can see I've changed the run path there, and then I can calculate the run, and that's going to change the run path here. So now if I zoom into this run, you'll be able to see it now goes 1, 2, 3, and then up to 4 and finishes the run there. So let's now shift our focus onto how quick displays and views schools. So I'm going to go back up to the menu here, and I'm going to click on schools right from this menu. And this brings us into the schools. So from here, I'm going to type the school I want to take a look at. This is going to be, I'm going to search that, and we have the estate school right here. So I'm going to click on this school so I can get more information about this school. So for this school, you'll be able to see all the grades as well as the programs that are associated to each grade. So you can see from K to 6, there's French immersion, and PK, there is none. You're also able to see the bell times for each school. So you can see the morning and afternoon bell times as well as the noon bell times for this school. You can see the contact information. So we have principal and assistant principal here with their phone numbers and emails. And then you can also view the boundaries for the school. So when I click on boundaries, you'll notice that it shows me 2. So I have the one boundary here and the other boundary here. The main difference between these boundaries is this one is for spec ed and regular, and this one is for a French immersion boundary. So this is a program specific boundary versus a boundary that can be utilized by all other students. If I want to view the boundary on the map, I can click this button here and this will show me the location of the boundary. And as I zoom out on the map, you can see that it encompasses this little square here of the map, along with the school in the center there. So this is the regular and spec ed boundary. If I want to see the French immersion boundary or any other boundaries I have associated to this school, I can also click on their location button and that'll show their boundary. So you can see this one really extends. It pretty much takes over the entire district's map. And that's why it's called the French immersion boundary. So the next tool I'm going to show you guys is the address eligibility tool. So I'm going to go back into here, the home page, and there's the address eligibility tool. So as you're probably, or most of you are probably aware, this tool allows you to input in an address and a grade, and it provides you with the school and the eligibility for that address you just inputted. So I'm going to type in a street number here, 4718, and then I'm going to put the street number, 52 Avenue, and that is in. So I've put my address in, and then I'm going to pick an elementary grade of grade 5, and I'm going to look to see what is the address eligibility. So you can see here with that information provided, there's the school, there's the student, they have a walker eligibility, and you can see it right on the map there. Really easy and simple to use. And anytime you need to retype in, you can just go and type in a new search and you can add whatever columns you need, programs, spec ed only, regular only, any filter you want, you can use, and it will provide you that eligibility. The last tool we're going to look at in the demonstration today is GPS. So Quick is fully integrated with GPS, so you can do vehicle assignments, you can view live positioning and vehicle history. So I'm going to go into the home page again, and I'm going to go down to GPS. And here are the 3 GPS tools I mentioned. Today we're going to be looking at live and history. So I'm going to click on live to start. And this is showing us all of the GPS units associated to their routes on the map. If you want to get the location of one, because obviously, looking at this, it's hard to track the exact route you want to look at. So what you can do here is you can scroll or search up here the route that you want to view, and you can just click the locate button, and that'll show you where route 2 is. So you can see it's right here on Range Road 260 something, along with the route number 14. And finally, the GPS history. So what did this bus do? And so for this one, we have to be a little more specific. So we're going to pick the same route we were looking at before, route 2, and then we're going to pick a date. And I'm going to take us back to October for this. I'm going to do October 20th of 2023. And I want to look at the AM time frame, so the morning, and I want to see stop times, and I want to see all the events. And then I want to display that on my map. And as you can see, it displays exactly what that vehicle did. So all of the times here are the stop events that you have, and all of the black dots here are your live events. So if you wanted to get an idea of what one of these were, you can click on it and it tells you the details of that event. So you can see the speed, the time it was recording, where they're heading, direction. And then you can see the stop as well. So you can see there's 0 kilometers an hour, that's the speed. And that's the stop that's happening there at 9:08 a.m. So that is BusPlanner Quick. If you'd like to learn more about BusPlanner Quick's functionality, pricing, or just about anything else about it, please get in touch with our sales team and they'd be happy to help you or provide you a further demo. Scott, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Brian. And thanks to all of you guys for joining us for the BusPlanner webinar. If you missed anything, or if you joined late and you want to catch it over again, we will have a recorded version of this webinar available shortly on the BusPlanner forum. As always, otherwise, if you have any further questions, as Brian mentioned about BusPlanner Quick, or really just about anything else, please send them to us at support@busplanner.com, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Otherwise, have an excellent day, and we will see you next time for the next episode of the BusPlanner webinar. Talk to you soon.